Yeah. All right. So here we are again. Everyone gets the drift, yes? The futility of looking for what you already are. Yeah. The futility of having one requirement or condition between you and that. Because if there's one condition, there'll be more. There's one requirement, you'll probably not meet it. And then there'll be new requirements when you meet it. When you meet a requirement, it opens up more requirements. Yeah. And the system itself is a very difficult time learning, yes? Because the system itself is based on I know. I used to work with people. One of my favorite guys, he traveled with me on this trip. He was a sponsee in recovery. And when I would talk to him, he would look like he was in a bad condition. And then I would talk to him, and he kept saying, I know, I know. And I said, well, if you knew, you wouldn't be in such bad condition. Yeah, so you don't know. So the system itself, which is not us, is based on knowing before learning. So learning is difficult, especially like they say with young kids, the best time to learn a language is like when you're 4 to 6, because then that I know kicks in and really learning becomes difficult. Yeah. And then what we learn is usually held based on how we learned it from, or the system we learned it from, which is quite rectangular, quite, right angled. Yeah. So it doesn't leave a lot of room for murals. It likes to have singular pictures. And then everything that else comes is referred or related to that singular picture without seeing the mural. That's actually the same old is not the same old. Yeah. But if you see a river and you see a river rivering, and yet you name it and define it as a river, you miss the quality of the ing. Yeah. So the head itself is is a lousy mechanism to learn anything, really, because it knows. Yeah. And when it doesn't know, it thinks it knows. And we have one of the biggest warnings that in the big book of recovery is by a guy who I don't think was an addict or anything, Herbert Spencer. And he says, hey, the biggest problem is contempt prior to investigation. So basically, the failed system is not the system that's going to hear this message. It isn't. The great news, it's a system. It's almost as if it's, let's say, a space helmet, and it's the one that's interpreting the atmosphere and the conditions, telling us, warning, warning, don't take this off or whatever. But basically, you hit a point where you've outgrown it, and it's time to take the thing off. You can breathe in the new atmosphere because it's, yeah, and you can have a new way of life and a new attitude and a new outlook and a new happiness and a new freedom. Not anything like how the helmet's interpreting everything, yeah, but how you see it sans or empty that interpretation. So, and like the highest form of mind in Zen is I don't know. Yeah. Why would that be? Because the I know doesn't work. Yeah, the I know, everything it learns obviously is fitting its system. It doesn't go outside the system because it really can't. Yeah. It's got a pay scale and a certain level that it can go to, and that's that. Yeah. It can't know what it is. Its mechanisms, uh, its Geiger counters can't pick up the presence of what's always here. It can pick up something that was here, yeah, and then maybe it will be here. It can't pick up what's always going on. So the message is really about what we're not, the system called self-centeredness, if you want to call it. And it's not a very, very exotic name. It describes the system. It's centered on self. And what is that self? It's the sense that's manufactured of being a long-lasting, independent, separate thing. Like we're our own island, and we administer that island. Yes. Yet, in fact, that system is failed. Now, the system being failed will never arrive at that conclusion. We have a statement of the system running into a wall in recovery called self, this small s, and then self wanting to get relief from self, or self wants to get out of self. It can't do it. So it just hits a wall, backs up, and gets in a different vehicle. So one was drugs, the next is spirituality, the next is getting a great job, the next is having, it tries, and it doesn't learn. It just doesn't learn. Bammo, it just figures I'm in the wrong vehicle. I've taken the wrong vehicle. It doesn't realize the ride it wants to get out of is us. That's the ride. The system is the ride. The system isn't being imposed by the other rides, it's the ride. So you can get off and on rides, but you can't get off or on this ride as this. When there's an identification as this, you can't get off. Yeah. So the great solution is there's no need to get off because you're not in. That's the solution of non-duality. The solution of non-duality is the solution before there's a problem. Even though you may be introduced to it and you are as the problem, and maybe you'll see it as a solution, but when entertained, it says there is no problem. In fact, you are what you're looking for. Yeah, being ourselves reality. That would pretty much soothe any beast. Yeah, being ourselves the solution. There is actually no problem. Yeah? Because the solution has not been unsoluted by the problem. So we believe it has. We believe that we did something that caused something that makes it seem that it's unavailable and may take lifetimes for this to arrive back to where it actually never left. Yeah. And of course, with that, all that time and space, businesses occur, you know, promising you to get there faster and slow and quicker. Yeah, and then, but you got to wear the right outfits. You got to look the part. So I mean, spandex, which is $2, with a put a yoga on it or a yin yang sign is $80. Yeah, so it goes off. It goes off, and then there's a lot of drag. So the hope is I want to get there at all costs, but the costs don't want you to get there at all costs. Yeah, because there's more investments to be made. You're going to reach the highest level. You're going to pay $45,000, and they're going to tell you that some guy came from a planet Crayon, and basically is going to pick you up at 12:30 at 6th and Market. Just give me the 50,000 first. And buy this suit from me because you gotta have this suit. And you gotta say, Bill sent you. So non-duality for me is simply a pause and then let this movement of negation have its effect. Yeah. So now it will look, instead of that which you're looking from, seeing everything else, and I mean a very seeing only the past type of seeing, we're now going to look at the system, not from the system, but at the system, and just check it out. So, is the perceived what's perceiving? Yeah. Great master said the exact opposite. Like Huang Po said, whatever can be perceived can't be perceiving, but let's check it out. So this is the perceived, yeah? You're seeing Paul through eyes, yeah? I'm seeing Jeff through eyes, a body through eyes called Jeff, yeah? So we're the perceived, obviously. Yeah? So we would be under the category not perceiving. So the perceived, everyone who's been perceived and can perceive, move over to this side. There's nothing on the other side. Hallelujah. You've discovered it. That which is perceiving cannot be perceived. So it's not a thing. Hey, pretty good. It clears up a lot of confusion if you let it land. So the non-duality stops the whole system, and then some things are seen. Yeah, and let's see if they fit, like a spiritual shoe store. Hey, you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. Yeah. Now, I would think the person who was speaking that saw everyone as a Buddha. Yeah, even though what was seen, the perceived thought it was Jeff, he was seeing the perceiving, which ain't Jeff. And he would say the perceiving is Buddha. Yeah, not the perceived, Buddha. Yeah, sitting right in the same location, one doesn't sit, you know. So what, you can't use the Buddha, AKA Jeff, to seek the Buddha. If you do, it's gonna take freaking forever, and nothing's ever gonna happen. What? All right. Well, okay, I pulled the car itself, and now I'm gonna try again. And he goes, you can't use light to seek light. Wait a minute. I just got out of the Buddha, the fucking car. Now I'm in the light car. I can't use light to seek light. No, because why? You're light. Okay, regroup. All right, mind. All right, I'm going to use my mind to seek. Not you can't use your mind. You can't use mind. It's not yours anyway. The big M mind to seek mind. It's not going to work. Why? Because your mind, Buddha light. That's all. It's not like you're a chosen one to fail. Nothing like this. You did something in your past that disqualified you. No, it's basically a misidentification. The Buddha is sitting there, yeah? The mental state is catching the message to the Buddha and redirecting it to Jeff. And now Jeff, getting the sense of the Buddha, as Jeff, the Buddha's got to be outside of Jeff. Let's look for the Buddha. Yeah, because I want the Buddha qualities. Obviously, I can't have them now because I'm Jeff, and I have Jeff qualities, and these aren't working. So I want to trade them in and get Buddha qualities. I got to have something. So I'm going to go to the path with my qualities, with the hopes of practicing hard to get the Buddha's qualities. All the while, your qualities aren't yours, and the Buddha qualities are like an unsuspected resource, because Jeff can only look as Jeff for the Buddha. It can't look as the Buddha through Jeff. It's Jeff using the Buddha eye to look for the Buddha. Very simple. Yeah. If it hits you, you'll feel something like a weird vague memory, like I've been here, I've done that before. So you start, so now the shoes are working, you're wearing the shoes, yeah? And okay, so why would a great master sit in a room with 500 different people and say you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, where no one saw the Buddha in the room? Wait a minute, what's going on? Where's the Buddha? Where's the Buddha using the Buddha? Yeah. Because unbeknownst to us, through the identification, we take ourselves either obviously or unconsciously as Jeff, as Paul, as a thing. Yeah. And so the thing is what receives all the messages. So the message of non-thing and nothing to do and nowhere to go and you can't have it, you can't lose it, has to go through the thing, and it gets altered, gets changed. Well, they're just yapping, but it's a subtle seeking. Yeah, you have to keep looking, but you can't look like you're looking. It's got to be like a sophisticated non-looking, but you're really looking. So now the idea of self wants to become a non-self. First thing is, how will I look as a non-self? Let me imagine it completely as a self. Okay, like they did with Jesus, he looks like a surfer from Venice. Blue eyes, white hair. You expect him to say dude and this. No, it was probably dark skinned, ruddy or something. Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even recognize him if we were standing right here. You know what I mean? We'd be going, oh, I have tons of Jesus pictures. I pick up Jesus. Hey, get the fuck out of my car. You look different than me. Yeah, because, all right, this thing meets everything first in time. It does. So that's why we talk about the hearing of the message, because once it's the hearer of the message, it's been neutered, really. Yeah. It's like you can't like warm this over. The message needs to be, it's a hearing of it. You can't warm it over because now it'll be seen as you heard it. The message will take a secondary role, and once again, you'll be in the apex role. It's you that heard the message. When there's just hearing of the message, yeah? Hearing of the message, like hearing the birds or hearing the wind. It's a hearing of it, yeah? And you know what? That wind that you hear with this message is going to come in and it's going to reveal a lot of the misunderstandings that we don't see normally because we're standing on them. That's how we're looking. We're looking based on standing on misunderstandings, not knowing it, that why everything is seen the way it's seen is not the thing itself, it's where we're standing from, because we give everything the meaning it has. We give it. It doesn't get, when it gives us a meaning, that's a secondary movement in time. The first movement we didn't see as we gave it the meaning. And then the meaning comes back at us as if it's uninvited or it's imposing itself on us. But really, we are the dreaming of the dreaming. We are. Not as Paul, this is the dream, but we are as mind, Buddha, light. Yeah? So it's a failed system. What can it show you? It's failed. That's its value. I think it's expressed its value in all our lives already. Yeah, it's now getting abusive in a way. We don't need to learn anymore. It's a dead horse. So you get up, yeah. And once you get up, it signals things, possibilities. A lot of possibilities aren't going to show up when you're breathing life into the dead horse. You're already busy. But when you realize it's a dead horse, then your finger goes up, you can feel the wind moving. Shit starts getting picked up, right? You start seeing, let's say, coincidences, or you hear something, and then it gets illuminated in your life, which really is a good impression. Yeah, it's like a nice little tattoo. And some of these things get indelibly impressed. You're just done. Yeah, you've seen the futility of it, of trying to get what you already are, or maybe you arrived so many times to be greeted with on having never left, it finally sinks in. So next there's the whole story of the journey. It sounds just like that. You didn't really take the journey. Yeah, something said you took it, but you didn't. And it has a whole narration, which sounds like all the other journeys. And now you see it paraded like on the screen, and you're like the screen itself, and you see through it. You know, it's not like a Herculean task. It's just natural if certain misunderstandings drop, which will and are going to when confronted with non-duality. Because non-duality is not does not a fit around doesn't fit around the system to try to motivate the system to go somewhere. It just says, fuck it. There's nothing. You're not getting anything. Yeah. It's nothing to do with how you look or how you are to other people or anything like that. They may all play a role in traveling later, but they have no real role in your inherent state. It's just an inherent state. Nothing in the dreaming has altered it or changed it. And if it seems like it altered and changed it, it can only last 50 or 60 years at most. So that change may seem to be real, but it's defined by time. It's going to end also. Yeah. So no matter what story you hear from a cloud, like it showed up once and it's never moved from the sky, it's going to move from the sky, and it's never going to leave an effect on the sky. Not one. I have not seen an effect of a cloud on Monday on the sky Thursday or Tuesday. Never. Comes in, may even affect us a lot, wind and rain, but nothing happened up there. The sky doesn't get wet, really. Yeah, it's just fucking space. And that's why they used to use it quite a lot. In Zen and Tibetan Dzogchen, they tried to use the sky, the mind, because it captured the closest thing as an example here of mind. Yeah, it's a very huge space that allows everything to appear in it. yet is not affected by any of the appearances. That's pretty nice, yeah? So the effects that we're experiencing, they think, as the action figure, is presented in the Course of Miracles as uncaused effects, which are dreaming. Yeah. So when I'm in a dreaming at night, and there's a huge tiger in there, it's producing effects on what I think is me in the dream. I'm scared. I'm trying to run. You ever have those dreams where you really have to run and you feel like you're in molasses? I've had them many times. I gotta really get out of here. Then the bicycle tires turn into squares and I can fucking go and something terrible is gonna catch me. So I'm experiencing a lot of effects. But when I wake up, I see there was nothing that caused those effects. Yeah, I was dreaming, yeah? There wasn't anyone really coming after me. The tiger was as real as the dream was. Yeah. Now, in this sense, with the awake dream, we don't have a morning where we do have for the night dream. Yeah. And I don't think there's much difference with night or daydream. It's just when you're in the daydream, time seems so fucking real. I'm sure it felt real in the night dream, but it gets negated when you wake up in the morning. We don't have a morning here. It has to be offered. You have to sort of hear about it. Yes, there's a morning. There's a morning. There's a morning to the dream. Really? Because what did it take you to wake up in the morning? Not much. Did it? Did you get a message? Okay, you gotta wake up in 4 hours. Get ready, you're just laying there. And then the tiger, I'm totally relieved of the tiger's effects without doing anything about the tiger. Yeah. It's like that here. Yeah, it may not always seem like it, but that's the dreaming of time. Time's gonna end. And just like you have an epic 300-year dream one night and you have a 5-second dream another night, it takes the exact same amount of time to wake up from both. The 300-year feeling in the dream doesn't need 6 months to wake up from, because there's no time in the awakeness. The meaning and the value of time is where time is occurring. Where it isn't, there's no value in it. That's why the solution usually whacks you like a lightning bolt, or you get a download. You don't feel it coming, it hits you, and then it reverberates here. Yeah. So you feel like the pebble hit you, but you're not this you, you're like this pond of energy, and then it reverberates, and then you see, and then there's a reverberation, a dualistic that comes back, and you experience. Yeah. So bum, 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 and then suddenly in the next few months, you're getting, used to happen when I'd go on these long tours. Yeah. So I'd be speaking like every day. Obviously, I wasn't speaking. I was at that position for like 12 days, and I would leave, and I could feel when I got home a lot of, yeah. So like a big pebble hit the pond, and then suddenly it reverberated. I could feel the vibration, and then I watched the return echo, and I could see it. The whole source was that pebble hitting the pond, and then back. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Same thing like when I got home this time, in a different version, but shorter, and I hadn't been in there a while. But I ran into resistance. Some talks you were speaking, and the people are sort of like this. If I can catch it with a position, they're like this, and their heels are dug in. Oh yeah, I'm open to new possibilities. So I could feel it hitting like a rock, and then getting straight, and then the flow wasn't so good. But whatever, it's just energy. But they are not my masters, so I don't care. I don't. And then they walk up to me. I think I'm ready to get punched, or I don't know. It could go either way. And the guy looks, his face was super red, like he's gonna have a heart attack. I walk right up and I was thinking, okay, brace for an assault charge. No, but it didn't happen. So, there's got to be some value if some character comes to you on a weird vehicle like Zoom and tells you this message has been the last answer in this place of time concerning this very important topic of wanting to get out of me, or wanting to go somewhere else, or transcend, or get super fucking brilliant, or whatever. To have that, all that stuff stop, not because of gritting one's teeth or hoping it's going to be a bigger, better thing if I grit my teeth and don't go here, but no, just fucking over with and then I pour over like Yankee statistics. That's basically it. That's what I mean. I go to a thrift store. I'm looking for the Tuesday senior citizen. 20% off. That's my interest now. I'm interested in how the hummingbirds are doing. You know what I mean? And I've been here so that it's a joy when a plant finally blooms after 5 years. I was here when it was put in. I've been here every second, and I didn't miss it finally showing up. It's pretty cool, huh? So I was here with its absence. I was here with its presence. I was here with its conception. I was here with the idea. I had seen one of these before bloomed. I said, wow, that would be cool. It took like 4 years for it to do it, but it is cool. Yeah. And so I didn't miss anything. And then it's gonna die like everything else. And I won't miss that in this case. I will miss this dying. The only people who will know I have died is you. I will not experience my own death, that's for sure. You may experience it, but I'm not. I'll probably get caught, you know. Yeah. The plug will be pulled. What? And I won't even. It'll be WH. I'll get out. I want him to say what? What? I've been practicing all my life to get. What? I was ready for it a second later. 60 years I've been practicing following my breath. I got a hiccup and I lost and I died. Jesus Christ. I missed it. I missed the one beat, which was the last beat. That would be a terrible way to go. You know what I mean? I've always wondered about laying there and you've believed every thought you've ever had. And then right before you die, it says, you're a terrible person, Paul. Oh, thanks. What a nice wave goodbye. You've been a terrible. And then the belief in that, I couldn't negate it. I mean, deny it. It wouldn't be a negation. I couldn't deny it quick enough, and I'm stuck with that going down the drain. Terrible. No, I am not. The duality of it. No, but I know I really believe I am. Terrible. So there is a solution. There is no problem. And if the problem seems to be a problem, it's temporary. And 60 years is temporary. 5 seconds is temporary. 5 minutes is temporary. Everything here is temporary. Yeah? There's a statement in EA we use, this too shall pass, yes. If you had a parade of everything that this is represented, it's us, everything, gonna pass. Yeah. It appears and then it disappears. Yeah. That which hasn't appeared doesn't disappear. It must be from there, don't you feel? Yeah. I don't think there would be a waste of so much production value for like a short movie. I don't. It just seems we went out of a lot of trouble, beautiful mountains, fucking everything for this, and I never even looked up most of the time. I'm walking around, obsessed with myself, a little lens now or screen. Fuck the mountain. I want a picture of me on the mountain. Oh, a selfie. Yeah, it's incredible. The stick's longer and longer. You know what I mean? I want to get 4 sticks. I want to get the back of my head. I want to look. I want to see how I look when I'm walking away. It's insane. So yes. So this non-duality to me is really rooted in the fact that you are what you're looking for. Yeah. And therefore, what has to go? All your seeming requirements and all your opinions, not yours, but all the opinions and the requirements and the judgments about that what's looking. Yeah. All funneled in with this little interpretation, it's a who. Yeah. So, yeah, let's open up if you like. Any questions? That's good enough for the live people. Yes. Remember how we used to speak? It was down to like 13 minutes. Remember the talks? They were getting shorter and shorter when we were talking live. Yeah, that's how it should be, and it's not should be. But it tends to go that way because if you're already at the dinner, it's just a mere formality. You're ready to eat, yeah. So you go, oh, come at 9, you know. Yeah. The only point is you're at the table, but you may be sitting the wrong way. So here's the table. You can smell the food. You're thinking, wow, because you're looking for it to come this way. It's already been served. It's just a matter of seeing the horses in front of the cart, or you're at the table. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you've already done eating. You're ready to get up. Yeah. All right. All right. There's no questions at the live group, I don't think. No.
If you want to raise your hands in your squares, go ahead.
I hope Nick comes by. Whoa. Something came in. Ah, the spirit. Yeah.
Boaz has his hand up. Hi, Boaz.
Fucking honor it.
Can you hear Paul?
Hi,
No.
can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, is it Boaz?
Yes.
All right, Boaz. How are you?
Okay, okay. Um, I'm still under the impression of something you said last Saturday. You said it's hopeless, but not serious.
Yes.
And it really, some part of this personality was almost insulted by this saying, because I can see, I can see the, you know, the identification with this part of me, the serious seeker.
Yes.
And it was the same time funny, but hard to think about it like that. It's hopeless, but not serious. What do you mean? Seriousness is my second name. This identification with the seekers goes for 40 years. It's stronger than any other identity in my life. And at the same time, I know it's true.
I'm going to send you that shirt.
Yeah, I really want that shirt.
I'll send it to you. Because the joke's over for me. It'll be good for you. Great. I will, unless it's too hard to do. If it's easy to do, I'll send it to you.
The intention to send it to me, it's enough. You don't have to.
Not serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll send it to you. And you can have a reminder all the time, eh? Yeah. This is what some of the times when we say something funny, it's to pull something out, yeah? Just yeah. Yeah. Because it needs to be seen in a way. It doesn't need to be seen, but in the seeing of it, things happen. Because usually it lays low in the weeds. So you want to bring it out, and it's a nice space to bring it out in satsang. Yeah? And this is what the understanding of non-duality can do. It can bring out the misunderstandings so that you, instead of trying to get the understanding from the misunderstandings, will see the misunderstandings from the understanding. Yeah? It's just beautiful, really. Because obviously, if we are what we're looking for, and being ourselves reality, and the seeker is the sought, doesn't really feel like it connects, there must be a lot of misunderstandings that are causing a confusion there. Obviously, that's the diagnosis. Basically, if you would say being ourselves reality, and it was only because it was a vague forgetfulness of that, it would be quick. But because there's a concerted effort to keep it out, it's important to bring that effort out. It's not your effort, it's an effort to bring it out in the light. Yeah, and so that you, or if you want to call it light, will see it, but I say you are the light. Yeah, so light will see it, and that misunderstanding will be like the emperor with no clothes. You'll recognize it's incorrect. Yeah, it's not useful. It was in a way, but it's not now. Yeah, and so you don't have any dog in the hunt, because hopefully you're clear that it's not your understanding. Yeah, so let it get fucking recycled. Yeah, take out the value in it, which is attention and interest, and put it into a new vehicle, which is I'm not that. Yeah. So when you're hearing the yapping, you're not hearing it with the attention and interest resting on, oh, that's me, all about me. You're hearing it, and the interest and attention is resting on what you are, and you're in a state of not me. It's the interest and attention that does the work. You can't move the interest and attention as self, because that would be interest in self.
Oops.
Yeah. So, but it can be moved. Interest and attention can be moved. Can be. And I believe mind does it, big M mind, computer or whatever, light. And by using light to see what's not light in a way, reinforces the light, so to speak. By I'm not that. Yeah. So something gets retrieved or recycled from the misunderstandings, and now, like it was so extreme for me that the understandings I lived by were enslaving me to what was not happening. I was constantly reacting to false evidence as if it was real, and the evidence was coming from here. Yeah. I didn't see it outside, I projected it outside. So I saw a lot of fucking threats when there weren't any and all this. Okay, so I couldn't believe that I was still alive, really, with the misunderstandings and the velocity that something project like uh, my movement for life wasn't slow, it was like extreme rush. It was amazed that after I came to somewhat that I was still alive, because had to be grace, because I was going the exact opposite fucking way, just fucking full on, and then believing completely false evidence appearing real. And why wouldn't I, if my whole life was based on false evidence appearing real, that I was the perceived, that was a thing that was perceiving everything. It wasn't correct, it's not personal, it's just not correct. So when it got corrected, yeah, shit that I used to see was seen through. And why I use these statements like the Buddha and the perceived and perceiving, because these things worked in me. They trigger an avalanche, a relived avalanche every time I get to use them at talks. So I use them a lot, because these were real watershed moments when I heard this understanding, because I guess there was a rightness and I just needed the right glasses to see it in a certain way. And when I non-duality were those glasses. And then I saw, wow, okay, all that movement toward was really a movement away. It was completely opposite of what I thought. I thought I was going towards something. I was actually backing into something else. And my backing into it made it. It was only my backing in was that made the place to be backed into. Yeah. So finally I realized the solution or the release or the freedom is before you're in, not out. You don't, not after you're in, and in the arrival of being out, because you're only gonna, you're in a bigger in then, really. But it was before. So everything stopped, and it just broke the back of that mental logic, because I realized, Jesus, the great escape, uh, you know, the wisdom of no escape is there's no place to escape from, which is beautiful. So I cannot get out of an imaginary place. Hallelujah. Yeah. It was uncomfortable for the head for a while, because it was sort of like an inner ear problem. It lost its balance. Its mental logic was fucked up and was like, wait a minute. And then there was a fear, I'm losing interest in everything, mostly this. And whoa, 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 whoa. And then I could see my devices weren't mine. By not, you know, if I could have grabbed something, it would have reinforced the device, and therefore I would assume it was mine. But I didn't get anything in non-duality. Fuck, nothing, no experience, nothing. And so finally I saw those devices weren't mine. Yeah. I stopped trying to know it and experience it and get it and figure it out. I just realized the futility of it all. And I mean, realized it stopped completely. Never to you know, it didn't act like it was out and then started up again. No, it's the engine turned off, the keys were removed, and there you go. Yeah. And then I've been dumbed down for years. My inquiring mind was always going back up its own ass. It was a bad circular route. Oh, I love the mind candy, but it was really going up the ass. You know, 11 dimensions, whatever. You know, I'm gonna, you know, no, it's fun to talk about, but it goes up the ass to me. So basically, yeah, here we are. I know there's the mental state is recognizable, and you can share its patterns with the hopes that there's an identification with an understanding that what we're seeing and identified with isn't us. Yeah. Yes. So yes, learn more about you, because it's going to lead to realizing it's not you. The less you know about you, the more it's taken to be you. Because if there's a less knowledge of you, but a lot of knowledge about everyone else and everything else, but there's very little knowledge about us. This is about, you know, self-knowledge avails us nothing, but knowledge of self, I think, is very valuable. Yeah, yeah, that's why we come here. I don't know why. I've said over the years thousands of reasons why we come here. I don't have any idea, but it sounds like a good one. Yeah, to share this. Yeah, anyone have anything else? Boaz, I will attempt, if it's not hard, I will send you that shirt. What size are you? A large?
Large, I think. The intention to send it's enough.
But I will actually,
Okay.
because I understand the head completely. I have been in it, not maybe as long, but, and I've seen many, many Boazes. I'm more than happy to send that shirt.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
And then I'd like you to wear it at Zoom so I can read it. Yeah.
I will.
I do. I like it. I like that statement. Yeah.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Boaz. Mark's got his hand up. You ready for Mark?
I'm never ready.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi. Thanks, Paul.
Well,
This is my second time here. I was here a few weeks ago. I just had a thoughts. The what what you say suggests very strongly there isn't any difference between you and the rest of us, or you know, a teacher who has something and the rest of us who don't have it. That's the way I.
yeah, but you are
Oh
it.
no, but yeah, but then there's this thing of like, oh, I come here and I listen to you or I watch your videos, And I can feel in me there's this, he must have something I don't have. He's got to have something I don't have. And that's
Adult
a,
acne at the moment. I have
Sorry?
adult acne at the moment. You probably don't have that. I do.
that's what it is. That's it.
Yeah, and a limp. You probably don't have a limp. I have that one too. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, I need a haircut and you don't. Not much hair. I need a haircut. So yeah, there's a lot of differences.
Oh yeah, okay. I see.
We have a chapter of Zen Bitch Slap. It's called the Temple of Lost Hairs. We have 2 members here. Yeah. 3 of them. There's 3 of
Can
them.
I join?
They got the largest voting block at the meeting today. So we can't talk about hair products right now. They got the majority. They're the majority of the room. Yeah. And you know, people with hair aren't loyal to the hair, you know. It's the ones that don't have it. They're very, very clear.
Loyal to each hair.
All right. Yes. So go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
No, that's it. You answered me.
What?
You answered me.
That's why we have the lighting of the adult acne. Yeah. I know that, Mark. It's a typical thing the head says, because the head could not make sense of the conditions it's taken to be real with the fact that we are real. Yes? Yes. It just can't, it doesn't have the ability to understand that shit can look hopeless but not serious. It doesn't. It does. That's why this shirt's funny, because it doesn't have the ability. When it thinks something is hopeless, it has pictures that roll out, and it sort of paints the picture. It never sees the painting painted. It projects a painting on the canvas. Yeah, yeah. So of course, and then we throw it on someone else to have what we are. Yeah. So when they fail, we can be right. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, that's why figures always fail, because you don't need to be saved. Yeah. And no savior, I don't believe, has ever said they're a savior. They were just doing their little seed assignment, and then bammo, they were given some name and meaning. Yeah. Yeah. It's just what goes on, bro. Yeah. It's not you. It's the head.
Yeah.
You can't see if it's you. You don't want to see that if it's you, because you see enough shitty stuff about you. So you want to keep a lot of shit unconscious, because you can't take the weight. Yeah. So this is why we can't be truthful, because there's buying agendas going on. Yeah. So if the head says you're going to have to completely be obsolete for you to attain reality, you're probably not going to move towards reality that fast, because it means to the head that it's going to be dead or non-existent. Yes. So you see, yeah. So this idea of like I made the biggest mistake of anyone who teaches or shares. Yes. Just happened last week. I'll give you the day. It was Monday. I went down to Doylestown to do a talk at 7. I met most of the people at 3:30, hung out with them the whole time. By the time 7 arrived, there was absolutely no specialness. There's no atmosphere of uniqueness, because they had eaten fucking refried beans with me, probably smelled a little gas coming from my area, shit like that. The point is, usually you want to come in just at the last minute get out quick, have everyone stay there, and then get out on your little minivan or whatever with your inner fucking circles. You want to keep a distance that the specialness thrives. Yeah, the head will fill in the space with, oh, this person is da da da. If you meet any of these people, especially after they've gone to the bathroom, you're gonna be, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I saw that in a way, so we got it from the beginning. As soon as they started doing this to me, I was like, no, the message is the important, not the message. Yeah.
Good.
It's just,
Oh, I think I lost you, Paul.
oh yeah, did you?
Oh, you know you're there. I know you're there. It's a different person on the video.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I hope that gets through. Yeah, and,
Yeah, I think so.
but the way it's really going to be readily available at all times is if it's seen as sort of like dog shit awareness instead of pure awareness or multiverse awareness, but just dog shit awareness, like you're on right now. Yeah, that's the doorway. The doorway isn't like gilded with gold. It's an open doorway, a gateless gate, open secret. It's just right here now. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I put conditions on it. Yeah. I can,
Yeah.
or whatever. I have a
Yeah.
headache. I can't have it now because I have a headache, or whatever
Yes.
it
So
is.
you start seeing that before it, yeah, instead of looking from it, yeah. Because when it says this stuff and there's an agreement, it platforms you, it triangulates you, it seems it's sort of like, aha, there you are, yeah. Yeah, it's not true, but it seems that then everything stops and you look from there. If you see it, the aperture opens more like this, not like this, but like this. Yeah. So more of you gets revealed, and what's shown is you're not that. Yeah. So then you can just travel lighter as that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks, Mark. Anybody else
Once
want to raise their hand?
set up the person who has it and the other people who don't, that's pure, that's just fucking base duality. Yeah, it's base duality. It may have the banner of non-duality, but that's not it. The banner may be non-duality, but the activity is reinforcement of duality. It is. That person, the more you believe someone has it, the less you believe you are it. Yes? Because now you want to have what they have. You don't want to be, you want to have it as a person. Yeah, you want to be a person having it. Yeah, that's not the message. The message is you don't have it as a person. Yeah, there's no one that's ever been enlightened. Many people may have been an expression of enlightenment, but they were not enlightened as a person. Some of them happen now. They were incredibly, supposedly very clear, great Tibetan masters, and then they went into deep dementia and senility. They fucking don't even know where they're going. They're fucking drooling and people around, and a lot of the people got totally confused. I thought the body was enlightened. Enlightenment was expressing through that body. It wasn't the body. The body's going through its dualistic thing, one way, another way. Yes. Now the body is senile, or senility is expressing as the body, just like enlightenment expressed as a body. We just gave it different meaning. We thought enlightenment is it. It's always enlightened, or the peace, the perfect embodiment of enlightenment. Then he passes out like that with a heart attack. He didn't even know he was going. You would think if you were enlightened body, you would know when you were going to leave the body, 304. But fucking no pageantry was set up or anything. He just fell over dead. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe you would think, whatever. I'm saying goodbye to my body today. Come and join us. 3:30. Don't bring anything. Watch me leave the body. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't believe the body is anything. It's it's like an imaginary instrument that plays in time and space. And it seems real while it's playing, but what's playing through it isn't the body. It's the perceiving, is not the perceived, yeah? So this is dreaming, and the dreaming is a part of the dreamt, yeah? And maybe it can have some great ideas, which it can. Some of these people come up with great ideas. I don't think the person had the great idea. I think the great idea came through the person. I do. I do not believe because these action figures, I saw it with a lot of people, not from close up, but like remember Rajneesh, Rajneesh, and then he sort of went to a point where he had a lot of physical pain, and supposedly he had like a dentist chair, and he loved nitrous oxide. So, and if you ever saw the old videos, he had like little helipads on his shoulder, and he had like platform sandals, and he walked out like a fucking zombie. He had so pumped up with something, it was insane. Yet the guy, a lot of shit came through that was awesome. So I don't believe the body Rajneesh was the great wise one or the fucking nitrous oxide outed other one. Yeah, I don't. And I believe a lot of shit has come through a lot of people. You can prove the person's a fuck up or a counterfeit, but you can't prove that which came through it. That which came through it affected you greatly. And then you hear, oh, he was a phony. I don't give a shit. I love Don Juan books, and I got a lot out of them. And I know someone who knows Carlos, or did know him, and he said he wasn't a phony. He was da-da-da. And this guy I know, I've known for years. So, you know what I mean? Who cares? It's the mind that receives everything, yeah, and it comes from everything. The mind is what's in front of everything and before everything, and then it comes through people, and then we think it's the person. It started there, and then we get disappointed when the person exhibits other personhoods, yeah, and then we throw the baby out with the bathwater. We throw the message out because we don't like the messenger. That's fucking insane, yeah. Yeah, so can't pin this on me, man. I'm just as fucking crazy as possible in some respects. I just have lost complete interest in getting in trouble because of the consequences. There's no virtue in it. If I had any choice, I just choose, like, I see gazelles, but I don't want to go out with gazelles. I just like watching them running over the savannah. I don't want to have a gazelle. It's too much trouble. So, yeah. So, my friend Jeff's here. He's known me for a long time at these talks. And Jeff knows where the body's from, Long Island. Rockville Center. There's no enlightened models for Rockville Center. I'm telling you. The models are severely limited. There's not much. So anyone else there? We're getting restless here. Anyone else? Mike? Mike left. Oh, he's back. Anyone else, Mike?
Nope, no other hands.
Hey, what time?